Lights, camera, action.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the We Impact Show. Guys, today's episode is quite new because the guest we have today, we met at the most randomest of circumstances and we connected, we just clicked. And I hope today's episode is going to be as insightful, as exciting, as fun-filled for you guys, as well as it's for me. So I'd like to welcome Vishal Menon. Vishal, how are you? And welcome to the We Impact Show. Welcome to be part of the We Impact family.
What's good? What's good? I'm so happy to be here. Thanks so much for the invite. I feel so honored. I was waiting for this invite for a long time. I'm not gonna lie, because the first time we met, you mentioned like you have your own podcast and you'd love to have me on board. I'm like, yeah, that sounds exciting. And I like people who are passionate just like you are. And I waited for 2 months. I'm like, is David gonna follow up on this? Is he gonna invite me soon? And then I'm glad you did after that. So it's good, man. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
No worries about. The thing is, We Impact was sort of on a hiatus back then. We were fine-tuning, getting the best quality out there. You know how content creators are. You want to make the best possible product. And I think 2 months later, having you on board is gonna be amazing. Like, guys,
is that a nice way of telling me you had better guests before this?
No way. Of course not. We're not. We're definitely not comparing guests because everyone is an equally loved member of the We Impact family.
Yeah.
And Vishal, you're officially part of that. Now we have a whole fan following over here. Now you're going to have celebrities. You're going to have the paparazzi experience with us from the We Impact.
I love it, man. I'm excited. Yeah.
So, guys, Vishal, actually, can you give an introduction to the viewers of who is Vishal Raj Menon?
Yeah, sure. I'm a third culture kid. I'm not born in UAE. I'm raised in UAE. Did my high school here, did my university here. I majored in business and finance at Harry Potter University, Dubai. All of my life, I've always been the kind of person who would love to do his own thing. I've always been involved in entrepreneurial projects. It was in my blood, like not so from family, just for the person I am since middle school. Taking part in a lot of club activities, extracurriculars at that time, and then extending it, even when I came to university, setting up non-profits and companies, and then failing it through, and then having my own company right now, which is my major focus at the moment. I run a Gen Z brand called Fireflies. We work with global companies to help them engage the youth, which I think we'll get into after this. And apart from that, I love music. I think I'm a creative. Like I love being involved in creative projects, entrepreneurial projects. I have, blessed with great family and great friends. Like I said, I love music, so I'm trying to produce some stuff on the side too. I love football. I'm a huge Manchester United fan, which is going to make this very interesting with David because he's a Manchester City fan. I have a brother, mom and dad here. My cousin and my family's here too, so it's like a packed house at the moment, which is always good. That's pretty much it about me. As a person, I'm quite ambitious. I want to do big things to help the world and help impact people around me.
Okay. As a fellow Toastmaster, what we do is whenever we bring on a synonym, whatever is related to the show or meeting, we always give a round of applause. So you said impact, so that's a big round of applause moment over here.
I got you, bro.
Vishal, you did mention a lot of things over there. You love entrepreneurs, startups, running nonprofits, music. I'm a big music buff as well. So, what are your favorite artists?
So it's weird. Like it's been it's changed a lot over the past couple of years. So like what's constant has been like the acoustic vibes. So I started off with listening to. I got into music because of this guy called Drake Bell from Drake and Josh. I don't know if you've seen that show in Junior in Nickelodeon. Yeah. So I used to like pretend to be Drake whenever this theme song of Drake and Josh came in Junior. At that time, I sound like an oldie, but like at that time we didn't have Netflix or like internet. Like it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So I used to wait for Junior, the show, to come on TV or eVision, and I take my cricket bat and like I pretend like I was playing the guitar. I didn't know how to play guitar back then, and I got into music. So I was very into like acoustic punk rock kind of vibe, which I still am. That's my constant. But now I'm appreciating all kinds of music. I love rap, hip hop, even stuff like jazz and like those kind of stuff, like even R&B and soul music, like everything. I appreciate all forms of music, but if I had to pick one, like I love that acoustic vibe. Like that's always been me.
Definitely. And I think,
Yeah.
based on the starting of this episode itself, I really could have just brought you on just to talk about music, and we could have just
Oh
banned
yeah,
about our favorite type of music. Because for me,
for
I
sure.
love rock, old rock, like
Yeah.
bands like
Same.
Queen, Green Day, Aerosmith.
AC/DC. Yeah.
DC. I have an Iron
Yeah.
Maiden shirt. Like I just love that bands like
Yeah.
that. Like
They're coming to
even
UAE, by the way.
hmm?
Iron Maiden's coming. Iron Maiden's coming to UAE, by the way, for a concert.
I am going to be there. So guys,
Yeah.
if you want to find
Yeah.
Vishal and David on like a concert or anything, just visit us at the Iron Maiden concert. So Coca-Cola
And
Arena
we'll
or
be there
whoever is
too. Yeah.
sponsoring it, we impact, we
Yeah.
got that.
Exactly. Yeah. This will be a great way to get free tickets. Let's just like put this up and tag them and be like, give us free tickets. But this is a segment.
Just a second. I think like, that's the thing
Yeah.
we're also going to come up on with like, marketing, branding ourselves. We have so much things to talk about over here.
Yeah.
And Vishal, first things first, like talking about Fireflies. Can you give the audience a bit more insight on what Fireflies is?
Sure. So when like I said, I've always been ambitious and wanted to start my own brand, my own project. And ever since I heard Fireflies by Owl City when I was in seventh grade or eighth grade, I told myself that one day I'll have something, a project or a book or a song or something called Fireflies. I don't know what it will be, but most likely it was leaning towards becoming, I wanted a brand called Fireflies. That's what I dreamt of since I was a kid. So what it was going to do, I was not sure, but I wanted to impact the youth in some kind of form or manner. Like I wanted to show the world that Gen Z or the youth, no matter how young we are, we can do incredible stuff. So it started off as an edtech company. So we had like, and by an edtech company I mean education technology. So it was a proper tech startup, the ones that you see going for startup competitions, trying to get funding, speaking to investors. The whole idea was we wanted to bridge the gap between classrooms and the real world. We wanted to get companies to deliver online courses. So imagine the likes of BMW teaching you about automotive engineering. Imagine HSBC teaching you about banking. That's the kind of sort of platform or app platform we wanted to build. I ran that concept for about 2 years under the name of Fireflies Education. We were the finalist of all the major startup competitions in the region. So your startup Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival, both 2018 and 2019. And we were the youngest finalists there too, by a margin of like 5, 6, 7 years or something. We were the finalist of the 500 startups, which is one of the largest incubators in the world. We were finalists of a lot of university competitions. But what we realized was we were getting into the finals, but not really winning anything. And we built an MVP, we launched it, we had like 30 to 40 schools involved. Eventually, we realized the market's not ready for it. There were a lot of issues with it. And pre-COVID, this was like a month before COVID, we decided to pivot to becoming a Gen Z marketing brand. So we help companies understand us, which is Gen Z, what kind of content do we like, how do we want to be marketed to, what goes on in our heads, how does TikTok work. So we sit with global brands, understand, not even global brands, any kind of brands. We understand, what are they trying to sell? How can we help you sell that narrative or your product or your service to Gen Z in a very, in a manner that they would enjoy, in a manner that would seem less commercial. So we want to transform how comms marketing works in the region. And we work with a lot of Gen Z influencers. And by influencers, I don't mean like the big celebrity ones. We actually just work with popular kids in schools and universities, even if they're good creators. We try and give them projects with companies. So what's amazing about this is that we've given some people their first ever deal with like a global brand, and that's what's more fulfilling to me than even working with that global brand. So the likes of American Eagle, what you're wearing now as our client. We've worked with Victoria's Secret. We just wrapped up a campaign with them. We work with Herschel, Bath and Body Works, Forever 21, and all these brands. We've been able to connect them to the youth at a grassroots level. They've been able to create some incredible content with those brands, and we facilitated that whole process. So that's what we do now, but we don't like calling ourselves an agency. We do more stuff beyond that. So our goal as a brand is to put Gen Z first, see what they want, and then help brands understand them better. So that's what Fireflies does.
I think everyone here is so impressed by the fact that how you can change from like an education thing, how you can jump industries basically. That's the really, really interesting aspect of it. And of course, you did mention, helping influencers or those kids who create good content reach out and be partnered with major global brands. That's more fulfilling. That's something really inspiring, that's impactful, you could say.
Yes.
And guys, also the fact that when I started following Fireflies and Vishal, American Eagle was one of they were doing campaign for them. I was like, every time I see American Eagle, I think of Vishal. I was like, all my American Eagle clothing line, Vishal, 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 Vishal. So obviously he's done a good job then.
Thanks, man. Yeah, but like you mentioned the whole pivoting bit. Like, don't you think that when you have a mission or a purpose, you need to be stubborn on that, but not on the idea in itself. So how you achieve that mission or purpose can be different, but you can't be that, oh, I'm only going to achieve that thing by doing this, following this path. I think you need to be flexible with your path. Like, what do you think about that? What's your thoughts on that?
Definitely, because okay, here's a bit of backstory in like how we Impact even came across. Because when COVID started, everything was online. Everyone was cooped up in their own home, and the idea is we had to think, we're never going to be living in a time like this ever. Like, God forbid nothing like that happens again. I was thinking,
that's right.
Maybe why not write a book about our experiences, what we've done, and all that stuff, and share it. You can write a blog because there are so many blog posts everywhere. And because the mission is, sometimes you think of an idea, you can get across to many people over there. But then I realized, if you want to get across to people, what are you going to do to achieve that idea? Like, and Zoom popped up right there, and you can connect literally the world through this. And that sort of was like the seed on how We Impact formed, and the mission of We Impact is to impact the youth with content.
Love it. Yeah. Great stuff, man. That's amazing. And I really, it's inspiring what you're doing. Keep at it.
Thank you so much. Because, I think, Vishal, we both can agree on the fact is, in this time, more than in the past 2 years, 2020 and 2021, a lot has changed for a lot of people in terms of how they perceive anything, how they perceive university, how they perceive work, how they perceive anything. What do you think is the best way for kids to channel that into the more appropriate way? Because now for a fact, getting a degree, going to college, getting a degree and getting a job is not it, because there are 20,000 people doing the same thing per year. That's just a statistic, guys, but it's pretty much what do you think people should channel themselves towards?
No, I think this definitely, like, we don't have to say it like this. These 2 years will change the history or transform the way that the world's gonna run for the next decade or 100 years now. We in our lifetime would have never imagined that we'd go through a pandemic, but we did, and we're slowly coming out of it, and we're getting there, which we have to be grateful for. And I think what it has also done is opened our eyes to things like, you, from a very corporate standpoint, you need to know that you are disposable. As very sad as that sounds, as blunt as that sounds, you are disposable. One day you could be working your ass off for a company, but the next day they could just replace you. They could, let you go because, they have other things to do and they have more priorities or whatever it is. So I think what's important, and it has also shed the light on, formal education systems, spending $100,000 or more or upwards on your undergrad, your masters. People are thinking like, is that really necessary now? Zoom classes have also opened up all those things. But see, I definitely think formal education and university has its own role to play, which I don't think will change for a bit. But that's not enough. Like, that's, I think, the thing that we've all realized. Like, that's never going to be enough for you to excel in whatever you do. I think these years, like, especially now that we've slowly gotten away from it. Things are opening up. We can go out now. Hopefully, we can start traveling properly soon. I think if you haven't found out what your passion is, what drives you, as cliche as it sounds, you need to dedicate these years, these couple of years you have in university to explore. And what I mean by explore is go out and do like unimaginable things, like do random stuff. And that doesn't just limit to internships. Like, think about things that you can do, like start your own business maybe. If you have an idea, even if it sounds dumb to others, just start it, because the skills you will learn or you pick up will be a lot more. Internships are obviously a part of it. Try and intern in different departments in different industries you might like. Is it good? Is it not good? What makes it more attractive than the other? What did you like about interning at a finance department, but you hated in maybe accounting or in marketing or whatever? So you need to start building that, because the more you explore, like, and that doesn't have to be internships. Like, watch different shows, read different books, listen to different podcasts. Go and travel, go do things with your friends. I think this is also quite important. Like, go out and have fun with your friends. Like, try out different activities, because the more you explore, the more you will start to realize, okay, this is something I love doing. I wouldn't mind spending 10 to 12 hours of my life, 6 days or 5 days a week doing it, because that's what work is. I think people don't understand that once you finish university, this adulthood thing is real. You are going to, like, we are all blessed right now. I guess a lot of 20-year-olds and 20-something-year-olds in Dubai or in this part of the world, we still live with our parents, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. We save on rent, we still make good money. Some of them are, good enough to move out, which is amazing. But the rest of us, we still do that. I still live with my family. But you start slowly, you'll have to start thinking about things like bills, the fact that you wake up, you have responsibilities. But I think that it will be a lot more easier to do that if you know what you like doing. Like, what makes your heart go, damn, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. And that can change. Like, in 10 years, you might want to do something else. But right now, what is something you don't mind spending 10 to 12 hours a day doing? Because that's what work is. Don't, limit yourself to things. If you have the privilege of exploring, explore. And go out and do stuff. And then once you find out what that passion is or what you like doing, because that's the biggest problem I think the youth has, right? We don't know what we want to do. We're so confused. We're like, oh, do I like this? Do I like that? We want to do 100 things. But maybe start narrowing it down to a couple of things you can focus on, which you love doing, and just go out and hone those skills, I think that's what people should do beyond just university. What do you think about that?
I could totally vouch for that, because
Yeah.
the thing is, even for me, even if I say I have this podcast, I do my assignments and all that stuff, sometimes I really do feel clueless on what exactly I want to do. Things.
Yeah.
And given the platform that I'm blessed in this uni period, that I have time to think about what I want to do. Because most of my things, when I tell people I'm interning or anything like that, people get like so surprised. People get so surprised because I'm studying business, right? Sometimes I'm working as a consultant somewhere else. Sometimes I'm working as a sales rep somewhere else. Sometimes I'm working in a different field for like Bic, the stationery company. I was working there. And people were just like, David, is that related to your field? Is that related to your degree?
Right. Yeah.
I was just like, dude, I'm not so sure what exactly I want to do. Like you said, like your line of trying different things, turning at different places to just explore and see what you're good at can be there where you can wake up. And the best example I got was jumping into Toastmasters, because I realized if you climb up the ladder, like effectively do it well and all that stuff, you can become a keynote speaker. And I love speaking. So I realized that's a goal I can work towards. And that's after trying for admin jobs, finance job, promotional jobs, all that stuff. So that's the thing.
Yeah. No, it's just about exploring. Like it's the simplest example I give is like when people say, I don't like sushi, and then you ask them, have you tried sushi? And they're like, no. And then I'm like, it's funny because I'm a vegetarian, but like it makes sense in the bigger picture of things. It's just like, if you don't try it, how will you know whether you like it or not? So try different things, and then you'll start like, oh damn, this was a lot of fun. I can see myself doing this for a long time. And then do it, and then see what skills are required in that industry. Like, those are things that's also quite important. Like, you can also have transferable skills. Like your speaking skill is something you can use everywhere, no matter what industry you're in. If you're in, if you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're even a musician, you're a waitress for, running a restaurant, whatever. You need to be able to communicate with people well. So build that skill. So a few skills, core skills that, even if you feel like that's not important, you need to work on it, because that you can use no matter what you do. Then on the other side, look at things that actually, make you happy, you're passionate, because at the end of it, that's the important word, happiness. Like what, makes you happy every day. Just do that. Like, and I know it's easier said than done, we have bills to pay, but I also, I can debate on that fact that I feel like you can still be happy doing what you love and make money with that. You never know, because we've filled with so much opportunities now. If you love football, even if you maybe won't can't be a footballer right now, maybe you can get into the business side of football. You can maybe become a coach. You can maybe even become a content creator for football. There's so many avenues within an industry you can explore, but you just need to open your mind towards, which a lot of people don't, because they're just like, oh, I'm limited to this. I'm gonna just focus on this, and I don't think, it's not practical. But you don't know what's practical. Everything's practical if you put your mind to it. But yeah, I think that's quite interesting. I hope people start opening their minds to that.
I can vouch on that because, like, when you look at people and ask them, or when you look at the kids in school, right? The first point of contact, you ask them, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to become? And all that stuff. Get nurse, something with CA,
Yeah,
engineer, doctor.
yeah, of course.
Maybe the variety you could get is like different fields of engineering or different fields
Yeah,
of
for sure. Yeah,
but I think when you introduce the idea of like different fields, like different avenues within industry, like when you talk about the football example, right, Vishal?
yeah,
You look at their Instagram page. It's not the club who is like, or
of
the
course.
player who's running the club. It's a certain guy or a girl who is
Yeah,
making the content for the club. You can become
exactly.
data analyst. You can become a marketing officer. Everything is
Yeah,
available for us.
yeah, of course. It's just about, like I said, like going out and understanding what these industries are about. And you have this thing called the internet. Like go out and use it for more than just YouTube or memes or TikTok. Like you can and even on TikTok, I mean, you can explore things like this. That's what the crazy part is. Like if you want to know more about anything in today's world, go on TikTok, and I'm sure you can find 10 people making content around that and learn from them. Like, what does this industry entail? Is it something I like doing? Is it something that I would enjoy? Talk to people. You can use LinkedIn to connect with the exact position you want one day and talk to that guy. Like, imagine how amazing that is. Like, if I want to be, I don't know, the marketing manager of a luxury brand, I can hit up 20 marketing managers right now on LinkedIn, message them just saying, hey, I'm a student. I would love to have a 10-minute chat with you just to understand the industry. Would you spare your time? And out of those 20, I'm pretty sure at least one will respond saying, yes, no problem. Let's get on a call. Imagine the insights you're getting from that. Like a 10-minute call might change your life. And they might keep in touch with you. You never know. So, but it's about taking initiative. I think that's quite important. You can't sit and just expect things to come to you. You gotta go out and just work for it. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It's quite exciting to the possibilities.
Definitely. I think, building onto that, it's like making your own opportunities. But I feel, something we have to touch upon is because many students or many people aren't willing to expand out of their horizon is because they're afraid of being judged by society or being judged by
Yeah,
everyone else. And that can affect
for
their
sure.
mental well-being as well. To
For
stick
sure.
to the norm, have only one vision, that is, you either become so and so person, you either become so and so career, you do this and that. I feel that's the
Yeah.
thing, right?
No, agreed. I think we are driven by this whole agenda of other people's opinion. Like we're driven by how we make decisions. It's subconsciously as well, right? Think about it. Like the way we dress. And there's nothing to an extent. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like obviously you want to look good, so you'll have to see what's trending in the society. So you'll wear that. You can't expect to wear whatever you want and then think that, oh, that's fashionable or that's this thing. You can do that, but if you want to be trendy in people's eyes or society's eyes, you'll have to maybe look at what's trending on the bigger scale. The point I'm trying to make is that yes, to an extent, you are sort of driven by people or consumers, because we live in a society, right? That's what just happens. But if it's getting in the way of your happiness, that's when you need to step back and think like, is it worth it? Because they're not going to live your life. They're not going to control any of your decisions. So might as well do whatever you want. And I think high school or university will teach you that no matter what you do, there will be someone who judges you. You sit and do nothing. There will be one person who looks at you and go like, what a loser. If you do everything, the guy will be like, oh, look at him trying to show off. So you can't, it's a no-win situation. You will be judged no matter what. So might as well get judged for doing something you like. Like, I'd rather, take this leap of faith and set up my business at early 20s when people might be like, yo, that's so risky. Look at him, he can get a better job. He can do something for his, I don't know, whatever. Like, let them say what they want to it, but they're not going to live, my life. On the flip side of it, it's also funny how much we think people think about us. We're not that important. Like, it's hilarious, Like, I think, oh my God, this guy is going to think about what, and I'm telling you, that guy might be just, mistakenly looking at your direction. He's probably thinking about, like, I don't know, like his girlfriend or something. And we're just thinking, oh, he's staring at me. What is he going to think about me or stuff? Like, trust me, no one, 95, 99% of the world cares about themselves. They don't care about you. So you do your own thing and let people do their own thing and just live life. It's so much hard. Like, so it's so simple, honestly. But it's hard when you're in your early 20s and you're a teenage life to get that. I still struggle with it, honestly. I don't know if you do that. Like, I talk a lot of big game here at We Impact show, like as if I have my life together. And I just had a breakdown before the show, and I'm like, shit, gotta get myself together before the show. But what do you think, man? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, it's the same because subconsciously, I think it's a process. It's definitely a process that, you have to go to reaching that, I don't really care what other people think, and they really don't mind what you think. Of course, you will have in 1 in 5, you'll have one person telling you that, what you're doing, they'll judge you and all that stuff, but you still have four other people not actually caring or judging you in the negative way. Maybe they're judging you positively. And see, when I launched the show also, I used to think, or when I sent out the invite, the scary part was when I sent out invites to people to watch my show, I was like, what are they going to do on their Saturday mornings? Don't they have like 10 other better things to do than come on my show? But then when they joined the show, they were like, we don't mind joining. It's a good show. So it's a good initiative. And I was just like, okay, that's fine. And that was like my first step into realizing that, okay, you don't have to worry so much about other people judging you, because then you're going to judge yourself. And then that's a whole other process of like, full madness.
No, for sure. Again, I preface by saying this, that it's easier said than done. For sure. Like, I can just talk a big game here and be like, yo, don't think about others. But obviously, like, we're Gen Z. I think we're in that age group where we do care about what people think about us. And that's like, it's natural. It's human nature. It's fine. But I think eventually, like, you will start to understand that people have their own things to worry about, so they don't have time to think about you. And factors that the society thinks are important, like, money, status, the kind of job you have, all those things don't really matter. You just need to ask yourself, like, am I happy waking up every day? And if the answer is yes, then do whatever you want. Like, it's incredible the stories that I've seen. Like, I've heard pizza delivery guys at 35 saying that they're the most happiest people on planet Earth. And society has trained us to think that, oh no, they're just a delivery dude. How are they happy? But he's so happy delivering pizzas at 35. He's just like, yo, I'm living my life. I have a good income. I have a family. I have a job. That's more than enough for me. So it's all about perspective. If you're happy doing what you do, like, no, you don't need to care about what others think of you or what others have to say. It's your life at the end of it, as cliched as it sounds.
As cliche, I think the fact is, regardless of how many cliche messages that pop up, and we disregard the cliche messages. In the morning we sometimes get those messages on WhatsApp, and we're just like, or on Instagram, we scroll through and we see those motivational pictures and videos with Joker or Thomas Shelby doing that. What is this? But sometimes those messages actually just make sense. They really just do make sense, regardless of how cliche or cliche.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. It's exciting, dude. Like, I think it's just once you liberate yourself from that, it's a whole other thing. Like, you just feel so free. You're just like, wow, I don't have to prove myself to anybody. And I think it also comes from understanding that, like, in a very nice and blunt manner, you don't really matter, in the sense that you're just like, dude, think about it. We're on a speck in the entire galaxy. Like, as cliched as it sounds, like, if you go and read about how big the universe is, how big the space is, how large the world is, like as in like the timeline, like the earth is what, 64 billion years old or something. You are going to be here for 80 years. No one is going to even maybe remember, like, that you existed. So you have, and that's, so actually, if you think about it, nothing really matters, right? So it should give you that freedom. It's just like, whoa, I can do whatever I want. I can be happy. I can do, just be, whatever. But on the flip side, again, if you want to feel special, there's this interesting fact that I bring up in every talk or every session I've done. Even the first TEDx talk that I did, I brought up this fact, which is that scientists calculated the odds of you being born. So, like, they took into account biology, a lot of research in dinosaurs and studies and everything. And they came up with a number, right? This is the odds of, let's say, David being born to his parents. Where were you born? Sharjah, India?
In India, I was born in
India. So in India, at the time that he was, it's 1 in 400 trillion. So you, as a person, David, beat out 399,999,000,000, whatever, that whole number to get here. So you are also very special if you think about it. So it's so paradoxical. It's funny. You don't matter, but at the same time, you fucking matter. It's crazy. I'm sorry for swearing, but like it's the effect it just comes through because it's such a thing I'm passionate about. So if you put yourself in that paradoxical thing, and you're just like, whoa, I don't matter, but I also matter. You're just like, wow, life is so funny. I don't even know if I'm making sense, but like,
No, I
it's
think the good thing about We Impact, the good thing about a platform like this is when you have two
yeah,
people passionate about topics they want to impact people with, because regardless of the people watching the show, right? When they watch the show at any timestamp, okay, I want the kids, I want the youth, I want the adults, once they watch the
yeah,
show, versus anyone, get to a point where at every second, something they can take away from it, regardless if it's
yeah, for
1 minute, 10 minutes, anything, and you see
yeah,
the passion and the happiness, or like the thing you enjoy with talking to another
yeah,
person. That's what We Impact emphasizes. And
yeah,
Vishal, just moving on to that part,
yeah,
we talk about Gen Z so much. We talk about Gen Z in today's time. We talk about how the company should promote it. You did mention like you want to make an impact with Fireflies, right? It's
yeah,
not like you're making an impact by changing the kids who create content and partnering with them.
yeah.
There was something more you wanted to bring about, right?
For sure. So like what I want, like, and this is going to be a change or a shift you're going to see in the way not just businesses operate, but individuals operate, like the concept of a brand, right? Brands are going to be quite important. We have a personal brand, companies also need to look at themselves as a brand, whether you are even a cafeteria selling tea, for example, like Kukalche, or Lafa selling this thing. Lafa is a brand, Kukalche is a brand, David is a brand, I'm a brand. So as a brand, what are things that you can do to affect or make sure people look at you positively? And I think that's very, very important. Very, very important. So as Fireflies, I like, in a typical sense, we are a marketing agency. That's what we do. Like, we come up with marketing campaigns, we do digital campaigns, we have influencers, we work, we run TikTok accounts. That's what we do. But I don't want it to just be about that. I want there to be a potential where this is something that Gen Z can look at and be like, we resonate with Fireflies. This is a brand that we care, that understands us, that gets us. So as a person in this generation, and I'm an older Gen Z, right? Like I'm 23, so 24, 25 is the oldest Gen Z.
Hmm.
I'm on the older side. And I deeply care about things like, the environmental impact, wildlife protection, sustainability. I also want to make a difference in the world, like, because at the end of it, we are going to be leading this world in a couple of years. And who know, the stats are not very encouraging. Things are not, environment wise, the crisis that's happening, there's so much we have to do to fix things. So beyond just making money as a commercial business, we also look at impact. So we're going to be working with the World Wildlife Fund to see how we can use our services to support them. We are also talking to the refugee division of the United Nations to talk about how can we help refugees there. So as a brand, as Fireflies, we're looking at impact as a whole, because at the end of it, that's what Generation Z thinks about, because I'm confident about this generation wanting to make a difference. So as a brand, if we are about Gen Z, then we should also be focused on making a difference. So that's what we're doing. And I think people should also start looking at that into, you don't have to like quit your job, go and volunteer in school in Africa or something. You don't need to do that. but think of small ways you can add value back to the world. Think about what can you do differently? Is there something I can do to make a difference? Can I, even if it's something as simple as contributing to charity every month, if you make 1,000 dirhams a month, if you can afford to give 10 dirhams a month to charity, do it. You might think it doesn't make a difference, but it does. Like I give I recently subscribed to this refugee, like package as well. Like I spend $100 from my account goes every month to feed a family in wherever it is. I didn't think like I wasn't going to do it, but then the guy spoke to me, and I'm just like, you know what, like $100, that's what you'd spend on food and on a night out when we go out in Dubai. 100 might be the low end. We usually spend 200 to 250 maybe. So I'm like, if I can skip out on one, outing and make sure one family gets fed, that's just incredible. Like, so even though it's a small amount for you, maybe $100 compared to what maybe I earn, it's not a lot. It's a lot for them. So I think people need to also start thinking about it that way. Brands need to start thinking about it that way, because at the end of it, I can confidently say that's why we will grow as a company, because people will know that we're not just about making money. We're about more than that. We have a bigger mission and vision in place that guides us, and that exactly is what will make us money, make us more money. That's how it is. So brand is going to be super important, and as an individual, people need to start thinking about it too, which is, I think, relates to what you're doing now, right? You're also building your brand by what you do with We Impact, the way that you're going for Toastmasters, the things that you're doing in Westford, and that's incredible. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Personal branding and branding
So
connected to impact as well.
I think, see, the thing is, Vishal, what you told resonates a lot in terms of
Yeah.
how everyone can view another person, in terms of like how companies, how individuals, because they want to be associated with people they know they are making a change, they're making a positive change out there. Because when you talk about like refugee, when you talk about the WWF, and you realize, we're working towards a cause, a good cause for helping others. And it could be the same, it can be the same for my impact, because for me, what this show, what this image, what this vision I have, what this mission I have is to show kids or anyone that your grades, of course, are very important and all that stuff, but you can push forward, make a change, and impact other people's lives through what you were good at, what you're passionate about, and
Of course.
that small quota or small perception attracts people. Because if you find people and realize that they're making it just for money, they're just a brand company, you're going to start something just to make a quick buck over there. You're not. You're actually working towards a cause, and that's something that help you grow. Because if you're doing something good, good will follow.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. No, I completely agree with you, and you're seeing in the way that this generation is making decisions as well, right? You wouldn't want to be associated with a brand. Like, let's say we wake up tomorrow and we hear that a brand like Nike did something to affect people. You can be sure that we're going to buy, like, we're going to make sure that we only buy Adidas after that or Puma after that. We're not going to be supporting, so it's the same way. Like, brands need to be very careful about what they're going to do. You need to make sure you're on the right side of history. You want to make sure that you didn't just think about profits, you also talked about what is right. And that's going to be quite important as a person as well. And like you rightly said, it doesn't have to be the way that everyone else is doing. You don't have to do what I'm doing with refugees or with the World Wildlife Fund. It could be, you make music that people like listening to, and it might help them. Like, for example, a guy like Ed Sheeran might not be doing, he is doing stuff for charity, but at the same time, his music is helping people just get through life, like, it makes a huge difference. So the same way, you just need to know that whatever work you're doing, try and see how it's going to positively impact the world, like you said, because that's important. Otherwise, what is your role here? Like, you can't be selfish. Like I said, you're given that 1 in 400 trillion chance to experience this thing called life, and you're going to tell me all you're going to do is think about yourself. Yes, that's important. Be happy, be a little selfish. But at the same time, you will also look back on your life and be like, man, I do wish I did contribute to the world in some way or form. It doesn't have to be the biggest way, even if it's small. I think that's quite important. Otherwise, I feel like your life is not worth it. That's what I personally think.
I agree because after starting all this, after joining university, at toward the end of my schooling and stuff, I kind of realized that my parents really pushed me to really think that, you're here for a reason. Make the best time out of it. Like you said, we're here for 80 years. 80
Yeah.
years is a
If
long
you're
time,
lucky.
it's a big time, but
Yeah.
you're 23, I'm 20, I'm turning 21 in like in a couple of weeks or something like that. It just flew like this. Time literally just flew like this.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
make it
No,
count.
and 80 if you're lucky. We don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
that.
so might as well like take, do what you love. Like I said, it goes back to whatever we spoke about today. Like if you don't know how long you're gonna live for, so might as well do what you love every day as much as you can. Yes, you need to think about the future, but at the same time, who knows what that future is gonna look like, or if we'll have a future as well. Second, you need to think about others. So that's where the impact bit comes in. Yes, do things for yourself, be happy, but in some small form or the other, contribute to the society. Think about doing something for someone else. And that'll automatically make you more human because as humans, we're wired to be kind. So if you don't feed that kindness part of yourself, you're not going to grow. And that's going to affect you in other ways. So even if it's like 1% of kindness you can do in that day, just do it. And you'll see the difference. I think you'll definitely, everyone will see the difference.
100%. I
But
think
yeah,
I think Vishal, like based on the conversation we just had right now, the audience is going to be mind blown because this is like one of those interactive sessions where we have two
yeah,
people so passionately talking about things they are really into and want to make a difference about because you
yeah,
talked about your company, how to start up, what the effect of looking at only what society thinks of, how to be sustainable, how to make a difference.
yeah.
This is what representation of the We Impact representatives should be about. So
I'm glad,
congratulations
man.
on
This is a lot
that.
of fun. Yeah. This is fun, man. This is really good. Um, but yeah, I think overall, I think we covered a lot of topics. It was a great conversation, and I hope people, take whatever we said with in their own context. Like
Yeah.
everything that we say, it's not advice. And this is what I tell people whenever I've had the privilege of doing workshops, like I get invited by schools. And the first thing I tell people is that don't think of this as advice. Like, I'm not old enough to give advice. I'm
Yeah.
just 23. But what I'm saying is the journey that I've had, this is what I learned. If you think that's going to help you, try it. It might help you, it might not. But everyone's path is different. But there's some core principles which is same for everybody. Like the things we talked about today, which is basically that be kind. Don't think about other people's opinion, and do what you love and explore. Like this thing called life is so beautiful and so pure and so short. Like you're just like one moment everything's gone. COVID taught you that. Like unfortunately, I'm sure we lost a lot of people, and that just shows you how fragile life is. So might as well treat it with the respect it deserves. And yeah, wow, I went so deep there. My God, like I think I need to like calm down for a bit. Let's talk about something like lighthearted.
Definitely,
But
definitely. And it's
yeah,
a good message to be shared. It's a great thing that we talked about.
yeah,
And
yeah.
moving on to something like you said, we're going to the best part about the We Impact Show,
Okay,
which I personally love a lot, is the
yeah,
rapid fire session. And this is going to be the fifth
yes.
time or the sixth time I'm bringing it up. Coffee
Let's
with
do it.
Karan Johar, Sony, NBC. Look at this. We have a good on show like this, sponsored. I'm looking for
Exactly.
that time slot over there with
Yeah,
Conan. I need
let's
that.
do
So,
it.
same principle, five
Yeah,
questions, rapid fire. I'll ask you the first
let's
thing that
do
comes
it.
into your head, answer. All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So, the first thing is, what's the best part about your job?
The freedom. I think the freedom is definitely the best part of it. Like, and there's two sides of it again. Like, freedom doesn't mean that you get to do whatever you want whenever you want. It's more so the freedom of the fact that I just feel free in life. Like I really love what I do. So being an entrepreneur means you're responsible for everything, and that freedom gives you a lot of enjoyment, if that makes sense.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
What is a memorable campaign you had recently, shoot?
So I would definitely say it was all campaigns had its own uniqueness. You learn something new. So I'll give two campaigns because I can't pick between them because both of them just wrapped up. So the American Eagle was really unique because it's the first time we did it across two countries. Yeah, repping it. I love it. We did it across two countries, which I thought was quite cool that we did it not just in UAE, but we also did it in Saudi, being in UAE. And with 14 different influences, with the language barriers, with everything, we were able to execute it, which I'm proud of personally, of myself and the team. And the second one was the Victoria's Secret Pink campaign, which we just wrapped up for back to school. The theme was basically for young girls to come up with content, this is TikToks and Instagram pictures, to inspire girls as they go back to school. And the stories we got were just incredible. It was so pure, it was so like relatable, it wasn't commercial at all. Like, and they were all doing this while rapping, Victoria's Secret Pink. And the brand was super happy with it. And that made us feel happy because if our clients are happy, we're happy. And the people also loved making that content because they were like, whoa, this was so fun to do. So those two were quite memorable in a way.
100%. I'm definitely going to view that. We're going to share that with the audience. We're going to definitely when they come out. Okay, the next question. What are your top 3 favorite hobbies to do when you're just on your own time, me time?
So playing guitar is number one. It's been the same way for about 10 years. Then it would be watching Modern Family, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or there's one more show that I shuffle between. Right now it's a Modern Family and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like shuffling between those two shows. It just shuts your brain down. You just feel like it's really nice. And spending time with my friends, like I and my family, just the best thing ever. I'm so blessed to have such incredible people in my life. So spending time with them is also there. And I think I should put that number one because people will just be like, so you love playing guitar more than you love spending time with us. I don't think I'll get invited to things. No, I'll put that as number one. Then I'll put guitar. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, question number 4. Okay, you're gonna enjoy this one.
Yeah.
How did you feel when CR7 came back to Old Trafford for his first game?
Bruh, that was just okay. See, there's this. I'm gonna be very careful about how I answer this, right? Like, I have to address the fact that there are some allegations about him and things like that. Like, and that's the first thing that came up. Unfortunately, that is. But it's currently like the thing is that it's innocent until proven guilty. So that's first thing. I recognize that's there because a lot of people think that these fans are deluded. I'm not deluded. I recognize that he's gone through it, but innocent until proven guilty. Keeping that aside, I feel incredible. Like it was the most like I've been a football fan just for about 4 years max right now. I started supporting United like 4 years ago because I just got into it. I think I wasn't like I didn't grow up watching football. I just started it recently. But my brother's a huge football fanatic and I know who Ronaldo is since I was a kid. And I know the history of Manchester United. And I never in my wildest dreams thought a day would come where I could watch my team with Ronaldo back. So that day was the news when it came out, I lost my shit. Like it was just like I was just so excited. I got so happy and I didn't know what to do with so much dopamine in my body. I was just like my body was not used to it. I was like, what the hell? And the first game, we had friends over and we watched it together. Even people who didn't watch football, they came over. It was just incredible, man. It was I would say that's just special moments in life that makes it quite enjoyable.
100%, definitely.
Yeah.
Even as like a City fan, I knew for a fact like Ronaldo coming to Man United was like the perfect fairy tale. Like even if he came to City, I would be like, wow, we did 1-0 over you guys. But as a neutral, Ronaldo coming to United made sense, and it was like that homecoming.
Absolutely. No, for sure. He was the right word. It was a fairy tale, honestly. So it was so cool. Yeah.
Right. The last question. Vishal, what message would you give your younger self?
Whoa. Damn, you put me on the spot. But no, I think I know what it is. It is don't take life too seriously. As simple as that.
I think the less that simple statement has hit home with like a lot of people watching. So when they're going to listen to the show and all that stuff, don't take it too seriously. Life's too short. Enjoy it to the maximum as much as you can.
Yeah.
So then, Vishal, I guess that is the end of the episode. It's been an amazing, for me personally, one of the top episodes we had at the Impact show. I had an amazing time. What do you think about being on part of the show?
Likewise, when you don't even realize 1 hour went by. Like that's when you know it was a good show. Like I really had fun. Thank you so much for having me. And again, I want to preface by saying to everyone that what David and I spoke about isn't advice. It's just two people having a conversation, and it's just sharing our insights to it. So how you want to take it with your own context, do it. But thank you so much, man. This is a lot of fun. I love doing this, and I feel honored and blessed that people keep calling me for things like this. So yeah, thank you.
Definitely. You're an inspiration, Vishal, and you're part of,
Thanks so
you're
much, man.
officially, since the episode is done, you're officially part of the We Impact family. And you get to keep that tag with you. Like, when this blows up or when Fireflies blows up, you'll know that,
Yeah.
you have that special spot over here.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you have your slot after Conan, I expect to be like, invited to those shows too. I like, Zoom and all is great, but like I want like a cool studio experience. I want to sit in a couch next to you being interviewed by this. That'd be amazing. And I'm sure you'll get there.
Absolutely, touch wood for that. So, guys, that is another episode of the We Impact Show. Thank you so much for making season 4 as memorable as it is. You have so much more content left to show you guys. We're going to be interviewing amazing people. We had someone like Vishal join the show. We're going to have so many more people. It's going to be great. Take care. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye bye.